Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm your host, Mrs. M. And if you haven't, make sure you click the link below. That way you can subscribe to my channel and not miss out on anything you need to scale your business to six figures and beyond. Pow! So, happy Memorial's Day. I wanted to make sure that I did a video, one, to make sure I give you some information that truly helped me, and two, I wanted to say happy Memorial Day for all those that have served. And let's get started. So one of the ways that I was able to make my business work when I was just by myself and scale my business to what my favorite thing is, six figures and beyond, pow, was subcontracting. Now, subcontracting has a lot of different terms. You could talk about the middleman, but I like to look at it as teaming. Now, I don't know anyone that's done well in business, especially in government, because government can pay a little slow, whether you're doing state, local, or federal. You may end up waiting anywhere from 50 to 60 days. And if you were like me, where you didn't have a lot of money when you were just getting started, cash flow is so important. So some of the things I did was I made sure that I understood what subcontracting was and what it wasn't, and how to make it work for me. Now, like I always say, we are coming up to one of the busiest times of the year. So if you don't start now, why not? You can't have any other excuses, because if I could do it, I know that you can as well. So subcontracting, what does it mean? How does it work? And why should you care, right? Well, one of the things with subcontracting is it allows you yourself. So let's give an example. I had a really, really large project for doing renovations at GSA in Washington, D.C. Well, it was just me. And I had a few employees, but I knew that I couldn't afford to pay them the time that it would take for the government to pay me. I would need to worry about paying them either once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I did not have that cash flow. I also had to make sure that I had all the equipment and supplies and all of that. That was a bit expensive as well. So what I decided to do was I decided to be the prime and hire subcontracting, as we like to say, 1099s. What I did is I went on to locate a few, which I'll tell you exactly step by step on how I did that. And I also was able to get a larger piece of the contract because I was able to use the experience of my subcontractors as a part of the proposal for this particular project. Now, we were doing painting and renovation and floor work and installing floors and all that. And so I definitely needed some experienced subcontractors. The first thing I did is I went onto fpds.gov, found a couple of contracts that were in my NAICS code that were getting ready to expire, reached out to the actual contractors and asked them if they would like to be a subcontractor and let me be the prime. I was able to locate them and find them, and I'll get into that in another video because it can be quite lengthy, which I'm not going to do that in today's video. I want to focus on the advantages of being a subcontractor. Once I was able to go into fpds.gov and actually reach out to them, because I knew what type of work they've done by researching, doing market research on FPDS. I knew their location, I have their phone number, contact information, all of that. And then I also went into sam.gov and retrieved a lot of their information as well. Then I went on to LinkedIn and did a little bit more research just to make sure it'd be a really great fit for me and for them. The second thing I love about, doing subcontracting is you really get a chance to build a team. You get a chance to not have to be so concerned about cash flow. And also, it allows you to do larger projects, like I said, that you wouldn't be able to do on your own. Now, where did I meet the subcontractors? You'd be surprised. We were competing for the same job. I went at the job. I was a woman-owned small business, so I was able to get the actual project. And this particular person that I was competing against was fantastic. He had been in business for years. We exchanged business cards, and I kind of let him know that if I win, I would love for you to work with me. Now, I did that with the others that he had working with him, because he had 1099s working with him as well. We brought them along, I brought him along, and voila, there we go. Now, I did my due diligence because I knew that he had worked in the area. He was on a lot of projects. I felt comfortable, but I did do some research to make sure we were a great fit. Then I did a subcontractor agreement where I gave all the particulars of when he was going to get paid, how he's going to get paid, what I expected from him, so that way there's no misunderstanding. Now, the other way you can work as a sub is when like a Raytheon wins a large, maybe multi-billion-dollar contract with the government. Most of the time, they're required to do subcontracting. They're required to hire subcontractors with other small businesses. That's a part of the contract that's included, the clause that's included with the government on things that they want them to do in order to help small businesses. So if they award, let's say, a Raytheon, a very, very large multi-billion-dollar contract, a lot of the times in the contract, there's a clause for the percentage of subcontractors that have to work on this. It can be something like 30%. 70% they're able to do, 30% they have to sub it out to small businesses. This is another great way where you can line yourself up, become a subcontractor to this large prime contractor, and do an outstanding job. I love this concept because it helps so much with scaling your business, and there are limitations, so I'll go over that in another video on what you want to make sure you pay attention to when it comes to the limitations for subcontracting. But right now, what I want you to focus on is knowing that you do not have to be concerned when it comes to doing large projects, or not understanding quite what does it mean to be a subcontractor. So in my next video, please make sure you follow the next video, because I'm going to talk about the limitations, the pros and the cons of subcontracting. But for right now, just know this is a prime opportunity for you to really get started. Teaming, yes, you can do joint ventures, but I like doing teaming. That was the first thing I did, and it was so much easier to get started when I was doing teaming. And then I eventually moved to joint ventures. So I'll talk about in the next video what joint ventures are, what's the difference, what are the limitations on teaming, and so much more. But if you want to learn more and find out so much more about subbing and all the other things I talk about, from micro purchases to understanding FPDS to divs and so much more, guess what you can do? Click the link to actually register for my free masterclass where I go into this and so much more. It's in the description below. And remember, until next time, be safe and take care. Bye-bye.